Morning Blitz begins now.
Have a great Friday, you mother...
Well, I can honestly say that it hasn't been a great Friday, and it's only 6:07.
I feel like it can only go up from here for you.
Yeah.
Tell us about your morning, Lewis.
So I'm driving, and I get on the highway, and all of a sudden, my temperature light comes on, like my warning temperature light comes on that everything is super hot. And I look at my temperature gauge. It's not all the way redlining yet, but it's pretty close. So I'm like, what the hell? And then I can see smoke because it was also kind of foggy and wet and there's moisture in the air. So I didn't catch the smoke when I was driving because it was blowing back. So I pull over and I get out and I'm like, SOB. And I can see the smoke coming under my hood. So I open my hood, and I realize what's wrong right away. The main hose that comes out of your radiator and goes into your engine, mine popped off. So there's coolant everywhere. There's a little bit in my reserve. So I'm like, I reattached the hose in the dark, which was fun, by the way. I reattached the hose. I tighten it down. Then I'm like, okay, cool. But then my car won't start because it's so ridiculously hot. I'm hoping that's why it won't start, because it's so ridiculously hot. So I leave it there and I look and I go, okay, I can go switch cars, but it's going to take me way too much time to go switch cars. By the time somebody gets me, I'll never have enough time to do back. So I left my car on the side of the road. It's now being towed at some point in time back home, but I went home and decided to work from home today. I'm just hoping that when I put coolant in it, my Jeep will start back up, which I think it should, but there's always that lingering doubt, so we don't really know.
I guess Blitz Nation wants to know, does this have anything to do with you insisting on doing your own car repairs?
No, this has nothing to do with me at all. Literally just the hose popped off. I cannot take credit for this in any way, shape, or form. There was no maintenance done to this whatsoever.
Doug Rogers said, damn hose.
I know, right? Hose are everywhere. So that's how the morning started.
I'm sorry, man. That sucks. That's such a headache.
It is. So I smell like coolant, and, here we are. The dogs are like, what the hell are you doing back? Good question, guys.
Hey, it's a party today.
I know, right?
They're ready to go.
So they keep updating my tow time, like, hey, what is it? We've revised your ETA to 147 minutes. I'm like, I didn't realize this was a high threshold of tow necessity right now. That guy probably rolled over and went, it's 5:30 a.m. F this. I'll do this later.
I'll get there when I get there.
Right? So we'll see. By the way,
I just
automated
think that means
lines.
Premium pricing, man.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't have to pay for it. It's part of my insurance. But I'm like, I hate the automated line. There's nothing worse than being stuck on the side of the road and dealing with the automated line. We can help you with our automated. I don't want help with my automated system. I'd rather you transfer me to the guy that barely speaks English so I can at least try to fumble my way through that.
Right.
Jeb, boats and hose. Damn right. So, anyway.
So
that's how mine. But I do have a little nugget of information for you guys. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered how hippos mark their territory?
I can honestly say that thought never crossed my mind once.
Same.
Okay.
I figured they do
normally,
like every other animal, right?
I must give credit where credit is due. Normally, Thick Rick is the one to bring up bodily functions. Would we agree on that? It's usually that's his MO?
I like
for the
science.
Most part? Okay. Well, this is nature. So a hippo, when it drops a deuce, will spin its tail in circles like a helicopter and spray it everywhere. And that's how it works. I don't recommend men trying this in the comfort of your own home. However,
where's your sense of adventure?
Out there in the wild, that's how they get it done.
Okay. They spin their tail to get it to spray.
Yeah. Wouldn't it suck to be the one standing, you just made the mistake while one's going, you happen to walk up behind them, and then you're like, dude, come on.
That is never a mistake I'll ever make in my entire life.
Never in my life be standing behind a hippopotamus, ever.
So if you ever find yourself wanting to photograph a hippo in the wild and you go, we'll just sneak up on him, don't do it from behind. You never know what kind of thing might need to happen, and it could ruin your day.
Now every time I hear that song for Christmas, I'm going to be like, no, you don't want a hippopotamus.
No, you do not. Let's give you a chance to win $25 to waterbeds and such. Kelly's the big social media app person in the room. You love your TikTok. That's safe to say, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, well, there is I guess this isn't really social media, but there is an app that does have a social media aspect that people are using to stalk their potential dating candidates. And it's kind of wild. I can kind of see where this might come into play, but it is a little bit creepy too. What's the app? First person to let us know on the text line at 99700. You're getting the gift certificate to waterbeds and such. But which app are people using to stalk potential dating candidates? It's your morning blitz, 621. Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn. I'm Lewis. Good morning. Your morning blitz trivia question, which no one got this morning. Are you ready? No one. Not one person.
Stumped them.
Stumped Blitz Nation. People are using this app to stalk potential dating candidates. When they find out they want to meet someone, they're rolling through this to see what they're like. That app is Venmo.
I love Venmo because I do log in every now and again just to see what's going on. Like who's paying whom. But it's really pretty private. There's not much you can learn from Venmo unless I'm missing something. And if I am, please tell me because I would love to get more details.
I looked at this morning when I was when we were talking about this, when we were going to ask this question, because I was curious too, just to kind of see, what's going on. The people you follow, like you can see, like a girl paid, it doesn't say how much she paid, but a girl paid someone and then the memo is lawn care. And then another girl paid someone 14 hours ago for jewelry.
Yeah, that's about the extent of what you can find out.
So I don't know if like it's showing who you're with and who you're paying for and that's what it is. Like, I mean,
my Venmo's private. Like I don't show up on the timeline at all when I'm paying people or getting paid.
I don't know if mine is either, but like it's just all you see is like, oh, shipment, tanning bed,
Okay, here are the interesting ones that I love on Venmo, if I may. And it doesn't have to do with dating. It has to do with I'm always interested when married couples pay each other. Like, that always interests me. And I'm like, for what?
Does it say what they're paying for? They're just like sending each other money.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I guess I'm just looking at one right now. There's no memo note. But
I think you have to put the memo note in because, like, a girl I know paid another girl the rest of what I owe. So I don't know what that owe is, but I guess she's like paying off the debt or whatever. Yeah, it's just like
a pizza emoji. So maybe one's paying the other for their portion of the pizza.
Yeah, like a friend of mine put beers in his memo, so they must have went out and he paid beers. Yeah,
like I can see paying for lawn care, dog care. Mom's paying their kids, for lunch money or whatever. But it's always interesting for me to see married couples, one pay the other. I'm like, I know we don't all work the same way in terms of our, like, Charlie and I share a bank account.
Yeah, same here.
So there's no one paying the other for anything, but I know not everybody does it that way. So that must be the situation. It's just always interesting to me.
But you got to split the pizza bill? Really?
I don't know. Maybe that was just to have something to put in the memo line. I don't know.
Someone said they don't like to combine bank accounts anymore in case of divorce, which I get it because then you got to transfer assets or whatever.
Well, see, you're already thinking about divorce.
You're already hedging your bets.
Yeah, I mean, you're done. This is why there's a 50% divorce rate. You're not fully committed.
Yeah, Aaron said, Kelly, my friend Bob at work is married, and him and his wife have separate bank accounts, and they send money to each other all the time.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting to me because I don't.
Rendered.
Yeah. I just don't do that. So it's interesting to me. Who cares? I don't care how you manage your money. That's fine with me. It just makes me laugh all the time. Because I'm thinking of me, like, what would I ever pay Charlie for?
Lewis, did you say for services rendered?
No, Hiram did on our text wall.
Oh.
So, the only thing I can think of is you want to see what people spend their money on or what kind of, if they're making any kind of extravagant purchase.
To me, I would think.
I don't know what you would get.
Well, maybe you would get
Go ahead,
a gal looking for maybe to date a potential guy and somehow is able to get a hold of his Cash App or Venmo to see if he's like paying a bunch of different women for dates or something. I don't know what you would be looking at.
See what kind of stuff
That's
they're
what I can't
buying.
figure out. Like, yeah, but I can't figure out like why that would be a date. You know what I mean? Like, why would that would be a red flag or anything like that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you see somebody spending a lot of money on all kinds of stuff, you're going to know they have money.
Or maybe he's paying his wife and you didn't realize he had one.
Yeah. You know.
I guess. But I mean, I guess we live in a world these days where, you know, anybody will use whatever they can.
I just feel like if you can see what somebody's spending money on all the time, you can learn some things about that person doing that.
Like, ooh, he gets lawn service.
Yeah.
This guy has money.
Right. Or he lives in like not even an acre's worth of a lot. He's too lazy to cut his own grass. So, I mean, maybe you're picking that up too.
We're like, man, she goes out for drinks every night? What are we doing here?
Right, exactly. You ever think about staying home once in a while?
This guy spent $2,000 at Lion's Den in the past month. What's up with him?
Absolutely. See?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of stuff you can learn.
Can you Venmo your Hub premium membership, or is that something that they automatically debit out of your account? You're asking for a friend. So.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know Venmo and the Hub well, who pays for the Hub?
I think all of those have like an upgrade,
like a premium service to pay for.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
it's kind of like maybe it's ad free. I don't know. I need my Hub ad free. So
oh my god!
I'll pay the extra $12.95 a month or whatever it might cost. Anyway.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
All right. We'll try to be worthwhile on a Friday. Thick Rick, what do you got?
All right, so I was just reading here on YouGov that Kamala Harris's campaign has deployed a new one-word tactic by calling the right weird. So somebody polled 3,500 Americans and asked, how weird are you? Turns out a lot of us think we're pretty damn weird. 50% said they are weird. 13% of them said they're very weird. 43% said not very weird. So, and 9% are unsure if they are weird. But what's funny is that Democrats were more likely than Republicans to admit they're weird. 50% versus 38%. But the independents think they are the weirdest. So, Kelly, how weird are you?
I don't think I'm weird at all.
Okay.
I think I don't have any weirdness in me. But I think that, yeah. But you do think I'm a little weird?
I don't know. I was going to ask Lewis, how weird do you think Kelly is?
No, I'm asking you, Thick Rick.
If
you
I
don't
think
pass
you're
the
weird?
buck. Yeah, this is on you, baby.
I think for some things.
Like what?
I think you're weird that you think your voice is terrible. I think that's absolutely insane to me.
Oh, I don't think that makes me
common.
weird.
We all do that. I think.
I don't know.
No, I don't. Not in general. No, I don't think you're weird.
Am I bullying you into saying bullying
not at all?
You with
no, but you're not. In fact, you're the least weird person on the air here at the Blitz. I would say.
But I want to say that the less weird you are, I also think might be the less interesting too.
Not true. Not true.
Don't worry, Lewis. You're very weird. It's okay.
Oh, I already know. You don't even need to ask me that question.
I know I am.
But when it comes to Kelly, there's no chance I can get shanked this morning because I'm not in the studio. So
go ahead, lay it on me, baby, lay it on me.
I don't think you're weird. In fact, I would say just the opposite. I said of the three of us, if we're just speaking of the three of us, you're probably the most normal.
Okay,
right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. You are the least weird person on the Blitz.
Well, what makes you guys weird? Would you say?
Kelly, I have Star Wars and Batman tattoos. I like comic books, sports, the Hub, and music. I'm weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Those don't sound like weird things.
I don't know. I think all of us who jump in mosh pits are weird.
Facts.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to determine weird. I feel like if you are... Who's that kid who started in Transformers and then did that weird art show? Shia LaBeouf. Now, that's a weird guy.
He's a weird dude.
All right, he's a weird dude.
He'd probably admit it, too.
Yeah.
Now, Lewis, you're a millennial, and
Yeah.
they millennials think they're the weirdest, 59%. Gen Z's next at 56, then us who are Gen X, 44, and then Boomers, 31. So...
Yeah, I mean, I do think there probably everybody can find, if everybody looks hard enough, they can probably find something that they do or eat or whatever that would be, considered weird.
I feel like people aren't willing to admit any kind of weird things they're doing behind closed doors, though.
I 100% agree with that.
Nate says, I, as an independent, will say I have some weird ways about myself, but everyone does. And I think you're right, Nate. Everybody has some weird things, some quirks or whatever.
I've got something, you guys. I've got something. I guess when you're a celebrity, you are never too old to exclaim, "Do you know who I am?" Listen to what happened on Twitter this week, or X. 89-year-old veteran talk show host Sally Jesse Raphael. Do you remember her? She had 20 seasons in the 80s and 90s. She was like the first female talk show host.
Yeah. Was she the one with the big, Coke bottle glasses?
Yeah, the big red-framed glasses. Yeah, very famous for that. Okay, so she gets on, I guess it was Instagram. I'm sorry. She's been trying to get verified on Instagram, and she cannot. They will not verify her on Instagram. She says that she has given them a ton of proof, and she says, first of all, she can't believe they don't know who she is.
Oh, like they don't even recognize her?
They don't have any clue who Sally Jesse Raphael is. And they will not accept her proof as being a celebrity. So
let me get this straight. They'll verify Jason Aldean's wife, who's never had a TV show ever, but they won't verify Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yeah, so I think the people in charge of verifying others must be pretty young. I mean, she deserves a check mark. Just throw the old lady a check mark, will ya? She did a lot. 20 seasons on TV. That's a lot.
Well, I mean, if a little research, do they just go, well, I've never heard of her, so no. Is that what they do?
I have no idea. I think it's difficult to get verified on Instagram, but her fans started stepping up to really massage that ego. They're like, it's crazy that someone as famous as you is having trouble getting recognized. And another person was like, they tagged Instagram and they're like, the icon, the legend of daytime TV, Ms. Sally Jesse Raphael needs her blue check mark. Hello. So
I'd write more, Sally, but we got to get ready to go to bingo night. So it's gonna.
Anywho, that's what's happening on Instagram today.
Oh, wow. That's funny. I would love to be a fly on the wall when someone says, don't you know who I am? And the response is, actually, I don't.
I do not. Absolutely
no clue. I got something. You guys might have heard about this. I'm not sure. This is out of Mayfield Heights, Ohio. A woman fell victim to a horrifying and unusual scam. According to police, she lost nearly $6,000 to fraudsters over the phone, and the criminals even convinced her to strip down on camera. It started with a phone call that appeared to be Huntington Bank's customer service number, but it wasn't. There is spoofing for caller IDs, she said, and the director of the Cuyahoga County Department of Consumer Affairs and the scam squad said it's illegal, but of course scammers are doing it. And apparently they talked to this chick, scammed her out of money, and had her FaceTime herself getting naked.
That has happened before. They've done a big documentary on that, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll find it. But yeah, I guess did they knock on her door and with showing a badge that said FBI on it, Federal Booby Inspector?
There you go. This chick stayed on the phone with the guy and went to the Huntington Bank in Mayfield Heights, withdrew $6,000 in cash, then went to this Chase Bank account and tapped the Chase debit card and her Apple Wallet and transferred $6,000 to an unknown checking account.
Oh,
isn't that insane?
Yeah, I fall for that. I guess people do. But then to be convinced that you need to strip naked so you can do a full body verification, I can't believe anybody would fall for that.
Okay, the Netflix show is called Compliance, and it's based on this true story where, this fast food manager received a phone call from a police officer saying that one of the employees was under investigation. They ended up strip searching her. This was all a scam.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wild story.
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy. Someone said that if Phil Donahue can't get verified on Instagram, Sally Jesse doesn't stand a chance. And somebody else said, if I can get verified on Tinder, then Sally J should be able to get verified on Instagram.
Agreed.
It is a crazy world. Coming up, if you have not heard about this yet, there is a female boxer that's making news, and it's probably for some reasons most people won't like. We'll tell you all about it here in just a couple. Metallica on your Morning Blitz 650 with Vic, Rick, Kelly Quinn. My name is Lewis. It's Friday. We made it. Good morning. And this one might cause a little bit of controversy. I think we should probably preface this with, we're not trying to offend. This is basically just what happened, and we'll let you draw your own conclusions. Obviously, the summer games are going on right now. If you didn't hear about this, a female Olympic boxer quit 40 seconds into a fight yesterday, and there's a pretty solid reason why. Thick, you've got this.
Yeah, her name's Angela Carini. She's from Italy. She stopped fighting after taking just a couple shots from Algeria's Ayman Khalif, who is reportedly born biological male, but also claimed to be intersex. And I'm not quite sure. Does that mean you're both when you're born?
Yes.
You're born biologically intersex. Is that possible?
Yes, it is. I know a girl who has this issue. She had to go through, she had a lot of problems when she got married, and she had to go through a surrogate.
Okay. Well, this Khalif has always competed as a woman, including during the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, but she was just barred from the World Championships last year after she failed a gender eligibility test that reportedly showed she had XY chromosomes and high levels of testosterone.
Yeah, that's what gender sex, basically, it's people born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit the typical binary of a male or female.
All right.
So this is hormones, chromosomes, reproductive organs. An intersex person might have female chromosomes, but genitals that appear male are ambiguous, or vice versa.
Okay. Well, Khalif had hit Carini like a couple of times in the first 40 seconds, and Carini quit. She took off she threw her headgear down, and she said, "This is unjust." She dropped to her knees and started crying. She said she's never been hit like that before. She said she could not continue. She did say, "I'm nobody to say this is illegal," but she felt it was unjust. There's another one. Taiwan's Lin Yu-ting, also disqualified from the World Championships last year, but is competing in the Olympic Games in Paris this year. The International Olympic Committee is defending its choice to let them compete. An IOC spokesman says Khalif is legally female and is not a transgender athlete. So, I don't know, man. It's very odd, though. You know, I mean, obviously, you know me. I'm a live and let live person. You live how you want, but at the same time, if you're born in a man's body, you have a man's body, and you're different than a woman. In that respect, whether you live mentally and emotionally as one, that's fine. But, you know.
Yeah, I don't think that is the case, that it may not be the case with her, with this Algerian boxer, that the debate about who should be allowed to participate in women's sports centers on two issues. Number one is transgender athletes. Number two is an issue in people who are considered legally female but are born with a difference of sexual development, and it's known as 46XYDSD. And they are intersex, but they do have X and Y chromosomes. They have typical male, a typical male pattern, which is XY chromosomes. They could have ambiguous genitalia, just like Lewis was saying. They could have testes. They could have natural testosterone levels in the male range, but are considered legally female. Okay, yeah. So this is like a tricky situation here. And it's something that's going to need to be addressed, I think, because we need to preserve fair play in women's sports.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think the problem is, especially with the Olympics, there are so many guidelines that you have to follow to be an Olympic athlete. This is kind of a competitive edge without taking a foreign substance. You know what I mean? Or doing anything to give yourself a competitive. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say this without being super offensive.
Well, no, you're right. Everybody understands. You're not, what you mean. I think everybody
But I
gets
think,
it.
I've always had a problem with I feel like if we're getting to this point where we want to be more acceptive of trans people, I almost think we're at the stage where you need to just make a transgender athletics category and let trans people compete in that.
Right. That's what I said. Make trans leagues.
But I don't think that she is transgender.
Right.
That's the
No,
thing.
she's not.
This is a whole different thing where she was born, I believe, and I don't think they've specified. I think this is what's in discussion now, is she was born intersex.
Right.
Okay, so you're both.
So
you should have an intersex league.
That's my friend.
Maybe, but I think it's like a difficult,
I get it.
thing to discuss here respectfully, because this is how she was born.
Right.
It's tough because my friend's intersex, and everything about her looks female. But when it came time for her and her husband to conceive, it just wasn't happening. So she had to jump through a lot of hurdles in order to be able to have her daughter that they have now. So, I mean, it's a tough slope to go down. It really, truly is. But I think that, it's something that needs to be taken a look at, because there are, when it comes to something like that, if she's got male chromosomes, in some cases, she probably is an advantage over someone who doesn't.
Well, she absolutely is in the testosterone levels. They are high and they are in the male range. Yeah. I mean, in this particular case of an intersex human being. So it is something to discuss. Yeah. It really is, because it's not. I don't want to get punched in the face by somebody who has male level testosterone. That doesn't seem fair.
It's not
in female sports.
Right.
Go back to the swimmer who got disqualified a while ago because she was a guy, and when she finished, what was she, 140th ranked male swimmer in the world?
You're talking about Leah?
Leah, yeah.
Yeah. And in a year, competing as a male, actually 56th. When Leah was competing as a male in his category, he was ranked 56th. A year and a half later, he's transitioned and is now a female and is winning a national championship. And that to me, that's part of the problem, is you're going to have people take advantage if they're able to do this and transition. And I'm sorry, but female sports is not a backup plan for failed male athletes. That's wrong.
I agree. And that's where I think there should just be a transgender league, because, again, you can identify as one or the other and you can have your sexual organs changed, but it doesn't change your physical makeup. You have the structure. If you're a guy, you still have a male structure, which is unfair, in certain aspects, especially when it comes to sports and strength categories.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a slippery slope to go down that will probably get revisited time and time and time again. But I think definitely they need to start taking a closer look at just making a transgender category to be fair to everyone.
And now, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
3 Columbus squad officers were stabbed and a suspect shot to death by the police on the west side. The incident happened in the area of Norton Road and Cherry Creek Parkway. Officers were stabbed when they made entry into a residence where a suspect had barricaded himself inside. An officer shot and killed the suspect during the incident. The name of that suspect has not been released. The officers taken a grant and are expected to be okay. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan landed in the U.S. late last night after being included in an historic prisoner swap with Russia. Whelan exited the plane first at Joint Base Andrew, Maryland, followed by Gershkovich, and then Russian-American journalist Alsu Kurmashev, who works for U.S.-funded Radio Free Europe. Now, the 3 exchanged handshakes and hugs with President Biden and Vice President Harris. They hugged their family members. Onlookers were cheering. They were among more than a dozen prisoners released by Russia in exchange for Russian prisoners held by the United States and countries throughout Europe. In all, 16 political prisoners, journalists, and others, including 5 Germans, were exchanged for 8 Russians jailed in the U.S., Germany, Norway, Slovenia, and Poland. Well, we're finding out some details about what Olympic organizers have planned for the closing ceremonies a week from Sunday. As always, the current host city passes the torch to the site of the next Summer Olympics, which will be in L.A. in 2028. And apparently Tom Cruise is going to play a huge part of it. Word is that he or a stuntman will rappel into a stadium in Paris holding an Olympic flag And then the ceremony broadcast will cut to a previously recorded segment featuring Tom Cruise flying from Paris to L.A. and then skydiving from that plane right onto the Hollywood sign. The skydiving part was filmed back in March. That's already in the can. But it's going to be a pretty interesting and fun spectacle, I think.
I am willing to bet that Tom Cruise will do every single bit of that himself.
Yeah, he wants to do the stunts. He does all his own stunts in Mission Impossible and everything.
Awesome.
So, man. Yeah, I mean, I expected quite a production coming, especially if you saw the opening ceremony, you knew the closing ceremony was going to be over the top.
Yep. All right, those are your three things.
7:08. Dick, Kelly, and Lewis, good morning. We have the opportunity for you to see Primus. All you have to do is listen for Motley Crue, Looks That Kill, and then be what caller number, Kelly, are we going with on a Friday?
12.
Ha! I love you.
Caller number 1200 at 800. Hey. Caller 12, 800-821-9970. When you hear Looks That Kill by Motley Crue, it will play sometime between now and 8 o'clock this morning. That is what you need to do to score tickets to see Primus. If you missed it earlier this week, Papa Roach and Daughtry were on Family Feud. It was a great episode. It was a lot of fun, and they brought both of them brought the whole bands out there, and they had a little fun. But their answers were, were pretty fun too by Family Feud standards.
So let's see. It was Tony Palermo from Papa Roach, and Steve Harvey. When he asks a question, he gets some of the answers. It just his facial expressions, his comments. I mean, he's got to be the best game show host of all time. The dude is absolutely hysterical. But here was the question for Tony Palermo from Papa Roach.
Tony, something Miss Peanut threatened Mr. Peanut to do if she gets mad.
Break his nuts.
My man. That's what I love about the band. They had that real good humor. Never be able to say this on TV except now. Break his nuts! I don't know how the hell that ain't up there. That's such a well thought out answer.
What's funny is somebody else had already said crack him, and that was up there, and I think that would have fallen under that. Yeah. So it was kind of like the same answer. But just his response was great. My man. Well, what else would she do?
Yeah, I mean... To me, I think it's a very logical response to such a question. But, everybody's different, I guess. They definitely had some fun answers. I would love to see, and when Jacoby and Chris were talking with us, they were saying, they were wondering what was going to make it on air. I would love to see the outtakes from this one.
Well, that's what they said, that the things you won't hear Steve say were probably some of the funniest stuff they ever heard in their lives, they said. So
yeah, so that would be one, too. If they ever do a Family Feud outtake someplace, that would be one to watch, possibly. I don't know, but it was good. They came across well, I thought. Well represented the rock world on Family Feud. Born on your Morning Blitz, 721 with Dick, Kelly, and Lewis. Friday, finally here. Good morning. Your weekend is just a few hours away. You can get through anything at this point. Maybe even a wedding, if you have to go to one this weekend, although this is a different type of wedding. Man-free.
Man, no men allowed.
Yeah.
At a wedding.
How about that?
A woman had posted on Reddit. She asked if she should attend a man-free wedding. She said her friends Lisa and Sophie are getting married, and no men are invited. Not even their fathers. And they're not happy about it. The fathers are devastated that they don't get to be there. The bride Lisa explained that the ceremony is to be centered on women. And so this Reddit poster woman, she's like, I don't know if I should go. This seems so strange. Well, like we found out, a lot of people are weird. But, I mean, just imagine you're a father and your daughter tells you, sorry, you're not allowed to come to my wedding because it's women only.
Well, do you know what the relationship is between the father and daughter? Maybe there's trauma there.
I'm guessing if the dads are devastated.
Well, I don't know, man. I think that it's your wedding. You do what you want, and then all the guests have the ability to say yes or no.
Right.
It's their wedding.
Yeah, it is.
Let them do what they want.
Is.
You know, my best friend back in the day got married outside in August. Do you think I wanted to go to that?
Oh, no. I've been to one of those.
Hell no.
But it's her wedding, her choice. So I went and I sweat my freaking nuts off. And it was lovely, but very hot. Her choice. But I wasn't going to say that I'm not going because it's going to be 100 degrees in August.
Yeah. I was at a 94-degree wedding, and it was just miserable.
I've been to a couple of hot weddings today. Nobody wants swamp ass at the ceremony.
No.
So, I mean, we let those people decide to have outdoor weddings. Why can't we let these people decide to have a man-free wedding?
They can. I'm trying to imagine being that dad. It's like, but
I feel like dad should be.
But I was supposed to walk you down the aisle.
Right. I feel like dad should be the exception to that rule.
Yeah, dad's man. So, I don't know.
Listen, there's a reason those dads aren't invited, okay? You don't know what that reason is, but there is one.
I do too. It's a man-free wedding.
Yeah, and they chose to not have their own dads there for a reason.
They're men.
There is a reason beyond the fact that they have penises, Thick Rick, and I think you can understand that there's probably an issue there.
I don't know. You're assuming this.
You're assuming that they're just being ridiculous by not having men.
I never ever said they're being ridiculous.
What are you saying then,
I'm
Thick?
just saying, if I'm the dad, that's going to hurt my feelings pretty bad that I don't get to be at my daughter's wedding.
That's because you're a decent father.
Okay.
I'm saying maybe there's a chance that they don't want their dads there because they weren't decent fathers.
Well,
they just decided, listen, we're lesbians, we love each other, we don't love any men, so let's just have ourselves a man-free wedding.
Okay, that's really for a group of people who preach being inclusive. That's really exclusive.
How do you know they're out there preaching inclusivity?
I'm saying for a group.
There's probably
It's all about being inclusive.
There's probably some guy out there that heard the term man-free wedding and probably got super excited because he's like, man-free wedding, this is great. This is like fishing with dynamite. It's not even fair. And then he gets there and it's all lesbians. And he's like, wow, I'm the only guy at a man-free wedding and I still don't have a chance. So...
I mean, I guess I'm just saying here, I guess neither of us know the circumstances other than they don't want men at their wedding. So,
that's it. And that's what they said. The ceremony is to be centered on women.
Yeah.
They never said it was because their dads
I don't think you'd explain that in
anything.
a wedding invitation, but
okay.
I mean, I guess I'm just saying the circumstances are unknown and they've chosen to not have any men there. So, I guess you can decide whether you want to participate or not.
Steve said he's going to identify as a woman and go. Stephanie said, I am completely single, not even close to being married, but I did tell my father years ago he's absolutely not walking me down the aisle. When I do get married, I'm no man's property and no one gives me away. If I get married, it's because I choose to, not because my father or any other man decided to give me away.
Justin said, Kelly really just told Rick he was only a decent father, not a good one. LOL.
No, that meant good. A decent human. Joe says, why is it okay for Kelly to assume things, but whenever somebody else assumes something, they're effing crazy? Well, Joe, it's because I'm right. That's why.
Adam says,
the rest of us assume we just make asses out of you and me.
Adam says, why is Kelly always so defensive no matter what Rick says?
She is, isn't
Adam,
she?
because he gets under my skin sometimes.
If I don't agree with her.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about people agreeing with me.
So if I make a statement and Kelly disagrees with me, I have to change my opinion.
Yeah, I get real hot over that, don't I?
Can I
Real
can I
hot
tell
over
you?
it.
Can I tell you, I'm not in the studio today, and you guys are having some heated discussions, and in no way, shape, or form do I feel like my life is in any kind of danger, and I got to tell you, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, wait till Monday, MFer.
I mean, I guess the bottom line is not all of us are going to be invited everywhere. That's just how the world works, and if you're not invited to a wedding, then you know what? Consider your Saturday freed up.
Now, maybe if we're not all invited everywhere, we shouldn't be preaching all-inclusive, because it's not really the case now, is it?
That's what I was saying. Amy said Kelly's right. We don't know the circumstances. Right. We only know what she said, which is that the ceremony is to be centered on women. So that's all I can consider when I give the opinion. And the only thing I said was, if I was the father, I would be heartbroken. That's
Lewis,
all I said.
If you have an all-male wedding ceremony, I'm going to be really glad about that, because that means that I can do whatever I want on the Saturday you get married.
Yeah, you don't have to go.
Yeah.
So Kelly definitely does not want to be in your damn wedding, Lewis.
If it's an all-male, no women, Hold
on. When did I turn gay?
I'm just saying, you're the only
Two
one.
questions.
Why do you have to be gay to have an all-male wedding?
First, when am I getting married? Second, when did I turn gay?
Oh, wait a minute. What I just asked was stupid. I said, why do you have to be gay to have an all-male wedding? Because you couldn't have a bride.
That's what I'm saying. Motley Crue, If Looks Could Kill, on the Morning Blitz. That's also the song that you were listening for this morning for a shot to win tickets to see Primus at 7:37. It's Dick, Kelly, and Lewis. And congratulations going out to
Johnny Stevenson from Columbus, otherwise known as Johnny Sunshine Stevenson.
I heard that. He was in a good mood on a Friday morning.
He was, man. He was fired up.
Congratulations, Johnny. So, on our Facebook... yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick, I was going to read text from Peggy. Said, the day is finally here. Heading down to Cincinnati for the Creed concert. Thanks for the tickets. The concert's tonight, and we got a hotel room, and I'm so excited.
Can I tell you, I hope they add more shows to this, because this is Creed and Three Doors Down. I was going to go, and I realized about 2 weeks ago when I booked this thing that I'm doing tonight that it was the same night as Creed, and I have been disappointed in myself ever since.
Oh, man.
So, I know. Anyway, so on the Facebook wall this morning, we offered you a choice. You had to choose four, or you had to choose one of the four. You can take one pill. One pill will allow you to be invisible. The other will allow you to teleport. Another will allow you to read minds. And the last one will allow you time travel. You can only take one, and you got to tell us why. I'll start with the room. Kelly Quinn, which one would you take and why?
I would take being invisible. Number one, I don't like to travel, so don't teleport me anywhere. Don't time travel me anywhere. I don't need either of those two. I do not want to know what people are thinking. Everybody's minds are weird and messed up, and you have crazy thoughts, and half the stuff, 90% of the stuff never comes out of your mouth. I don't need to know that type of detail of what's going on in anybody's brain. So give me invisibility. That will allow me to, let's see, go to the grocery store. Okay. I don't know. Now I don't want to sound mean. I would love to live a part of my life where I can just go do the things I want to do and not have to be confronted with unnecessary conversation or, I don't know. That sounds so mean, right? Sometimes I'm on a time schedule, okay? And I want to walk my dog really quickly between my house and the end of the road and back. And everybody's pretty friendly around, and sometimes it's just like, I just need to get through. I just need to get there and back without,
having conversations
down or something. That's mean. Okay, I take that back. I love my neighbors, though. I do, really do, but sometimes I'm in a rush. Half the time, 90% of the time in my life, I'm in a rush. I'm in a rush, and I'm just trying to do something. I'd rather be invisible to do it, and then uninvisibilize myself when I am ready to be social. Does that make sense? So you can be real quiet. I can get all the energy build up I need in my life when I'm invisible. I can just really stock up all that energy. Then I can hit the button, become uninvisible again.
Visible?
Re-invisible. Oh, yeah. Visible. Thank you. Visible. And then, man, I can be out there having a good time with everyone. My neighbors, everyone at the grocery store, everyone, whatever. Man, I'm out there and I am fully energized for it.
How often are you ready to be social?
Well, that's what I mean. If I was invisible, I could really, really get all the energy I need. I could stock it up, baby.
All right. Ashley agrees with you on our Facebook wall. She said invisible, too, because everything would be free, because you'd be stealing it, I guess. So,
okay. I didn't think of that part.
Dick, what would you go with?
All right. I'm definitely going with teleport. Number one, all four of these things, being invisible, teleport, reading minds, time travel, I can use any one of those to get rich. Number one. I'm with Kelly on reading minds. I have enough voices in my head. I don't need to hear everybody else's.
Yeah.
Teleporting means, unlike Kelly, I do like to travel. There are a lot of places I would love to go. I don't have to spend any time getting there. I don't have to get, if I'm invisible, I still got to get on a plane. If I want to, go wherever, I got to get on a plane, or I got to drive. If I can just teleport, I can just go anywhere I want. And while I'm there, I don't need to rent a car because I can teleport.
Let me throw a curveball at you. What if the distance of your teleport depended on your physical prowess?
Well, now you're changing up the rules here, man.
I'm just throwing a curveball. So, let's say if you were an Olympic caliber athlete, you could teleport anywhere you wanted. But let's say someone of lesser athletic calibration would teleport, and they might make it, I don't know, down the street.
Well, I mean,
I'm vetoing this whole line of conversation.
Yeah, really.
I
You
veto.
just said teleport, dude. You can't.
Yeah.
You always do this.
Don't change the question.
I put my answer together. I'm prepared, and then you want to do that. No curveballs.
Go on, Thick. We're listening.
He thinks he's a major league pitcher or something. I'm tired of this. Anyway, time travel, it's not a good idea. I'll screw up that space-time continuum. One day the world will be a complete disaster.
You might go back to 1950 and get yourself a nice sports almanac to bring back.
But being invisible would be really cool. It came down to that and then teleport, but I like the idea of being able to travel anywhere I want in a split second. I'm going to have tons of money, and so I'm good with the teleport.
All right. Chance on the Facebook wall said teleport's the only logical thing there. Okay. I would go with time travel. I really, truly would.
Oh, you're going to mess it all up, aren't you?
No, but I throw myself a curveball too. How far back would I be able to go? If I could only go back, maybe, there's a maximum cap on that. But I think I would go back. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day. It would just be fun to go back and live a couple of days in the past when there was less drama, and live a couple of days, see how the rest of the world used to live, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think I would use time travel for sure to get rich. Let's not lie about that. I'm going to go back and place the right bet here or there, just to set myself up for future life. But yeah, I would go time travel.
Now, Steve said time travel would be a pain because now you're obligated to stop 9/11.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You're going to have to stop a lot of things if you have that. That's a responsibility.
the Oklahoma bombing.
Everything.
You'd have to stop
Every
a lot.
shooting, Columbine, wars. You have to stop it all.
McDonald's from getting rid of the McRib too soon. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that.
Gerald says Kelly loves all her neighbors except for the guy who wrote the dirty hippie letter.
I actually do. That was a terrible example because I really do enjoy my neighbors. So those conversations are great. If I'm in a rush, like at the grocery, I'm just like, that's inevitably when I see someone I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm like, can we catch up tomorrow?
If you could be invisible, you could set a tripwire for that guy. So when he walked out of his house, he tripped and fall. Then you could laugh at him.
You could become visible and point at him and laugh.
You can keep doing it over and over again. It's hours and hours of fun. We want to know what you think, Blitz Nation. Let us know via the text at 99700. You can always call us, or you can let us know on the socials. You can choose for read minds, teleport, time travel, or become invisible. Let us know which one you'd choose and why. We're back next on the Blitz. Here on your Morning Blitz, 749. Dick, Rick, Kelly, Quinn. I'm Lewis on a Friday where we are giving you the choice of 4. You got to choose one. Let us know what it is and why. You can teleport. You can become invisible. You can read minds, or you can time travel. Which one would it be and why? That's what we want to know. Kelly, you said invisible. Thick was going with teleportation. And I'm the time travel guy this morning. And a lot of people from Blitz Nation chiming in one way or the other.
Nobody wants to read minds, huh?
Well, Doug Rogers is trying to work the system here. He says, I would choose time travel and then just keep going back and taking each one of the different pills until I had all 4 powers. I can't envision how that would work, but I think you've got it worked out, Doug.
I mean,
okay, so if he takes the time travel pill,
then goes back,
and then goes back in time, now all 4 pills are still there? Is that what he's saying? Now he can take another one?
Yeah, but you'd be stuck there. Once you took the time travel time and you took the other pill, you wouldn't be able to time travel anymore.
Why? He already took the time travel pill.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
see,
so
this
already
and
invested.
and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now you're screwing with the space-time continuum, and the world's going to blow up.
Stacy would teleport. Tim said it depends on what the rules of time travel are. Patrick's going to teleport for sure. Invisibility is for thieving. Reading minds is pretty much would drive you insane, which I agree with. Time traveling's too risky because of the butterfly effect.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm talking about. As far as the rules of the time travel, I just assumed that it meant you could just poof and be in whatever time you wanted, and you'd still be standing in the same place.
Yeah, like how many times can you do it? How many times can you go back? How far can you go back?
Yeah, it's got to be unlimited. All of these need to be unlimited.
Yeah, we're getting in the weeds here. I think we just need to assume they're all unlimited.
Right, and do it.
All right, fine, unlimited.
Josh says time travel because I'd like to stop my mom from having my brat sister. Now, Josh, I want to tell you that is not going to be pretty work. Stopping your mom in the middle of.
Oh yeah,
that's.
You need to walk. You got to walk
I think you need to think that through a little more, there, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Dad, listen, these couple of months right here, please make sure you're wearing a condom always.
Right. Or you guys are married, you're not supposed to do this anymore. Stop right now.
All right, we got a text from somebody who didn't leave their name. Says absolutely invisibility. I would have an effing blast.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
It would. But and at that point you don't have to be able to read minds because they don't know you're listening to them when they're talking. So, Chris said time travel to make large bets on future sporting events and become a billionaire. And yeah, I thought that's why I said all 4 of these things would allow you to get rich if you wanted to. If you you would probably have to be deceitful in some way. But like if I could teleport right into a bank vault, get what I wanted, and teleport right out. I've seen the movie Jumper. I know how it works.
Elizabeth agrees with you on the invisibility about hearing other people's conversations and getting around. Sarah said teleportation because no gas or car bills. Susan would teleport because she hates driving.
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
another
people
thing.
Saying it'll cut travel costs.
Oh my gosh, and time.
Yes, time and money.
Man, you want to take a 7-day vacation? You take a 7-day vacation. Poof, you're there for 7 days.
Thomas likes the idea of reading minds because if you know what other people are thinking, you can do everything, there is some merit to that, I suppose.
Do you know how much you're going to have to weed through in terms of mind reading? People do you know how fast everybody's mind races all day long? I don't want to have to weed through that to get the nuggets.
Man.
No, I feel like you definitely have to learn how to exercise some control there because it wouldn't just come, you know what I mean?
And Thick Rick's right. If you're invisible, then you're basically going to know what's really on people's minds if you can sort of be in a room where they're speaking about you and they don't know you're there.
All those private conversations. You're invisible. You're walking into the White House listening to everybody.
Ooh,
all the private
all the
stuff
inside
going
info.
On.
Carmen would time travel because she'd love to see her dad one more time, and Val would teleport so she could be with her family in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Anthony said a similar thing about time traveling, wants to spend time with his grandfather to show him pictures of his granddaughters and etc. That would be precious to him to spend time with his grandfather.
Yeah, same with Lori. She wants to go back and spend more quality time with her grandparents. See, some people just think about those really kind,
really sweet things.
Yeah, sweet things.
And then we have people like Mark who say he's going to time travel, go to the future, get the Gray Sports Almanac, and then come back and make some bets.
Look.
Right.
I mean, I have some nefarious means for my time travel. I really do. I'm not going to lie. I want to get rich, and then there's also maybe a couple of exes that I would like to revisit prior to things not going well. So...
Kyle says, I'm going with teleportation as well. I can't stand idiotic drivers. Would love to just wake up for work and just be there when I needed to without driving, especially to go home. 3 o'clock, guess it's time to be at home. Poof.
Nick brings up a good point about time travel, going back in time to change the things in your life that you regret. Things that you've done that you wish you hadn't.
But that's going to change other things that maybe you didn't mean to change.
That's okay. That's all right. You get those regrets off your mind. I think maybe however things work out, they work out. I like the idea. I don't think we can be too deep about it.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I agree.
You guys know me. I'm obsessed with time. I always have been. I just feel like going back would be kind of fun. You know what I mean? What were we talking about the other day where we were talking about something that was back in the day? The stuff that's no longer here. It would be kind of cool to go back and revisit some of those things that aren't there anymore. You know what I mean? Just so you could do it one more time.
Some of them I don't want to revisit, but yeah. No, I hear you. Well, I thought this one was interesting. I want to go back in time to be with my ex again when life was going good.
That's what I'm saying.
Before the marriage fell apart.
Oh.
You start thinking back and you go, there were a couple of nights back in the day that weren't too bad. Maybe go back and redo that one more time.
Well, yeah, and so I guess, if you can time travel, you can stay wherever you want, right? I mean, you can go back and you don't have to return to the present. So the one thing about that is you could keep from ever getting old. But you wouldn't be able to live in the future at all. You know what I mean?
That's Lewis's nightmare.
Well, no, I guess you could
right?
because you could travel to the future and you'd still be
what
the
if
same. I guess if you can time travel, do you stay the same age forever?
I hope it's your consciousness that time travels and not your physical body. That's what I would want to have happen. Like, I'd want to wake up and, oh, man, I'm 16 today. Oh, man, I'm 9 today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm wondering about. Because anything we see in a movie where they time travel, they're the same age wherever they travel to.
See, I'd mess up. If you were able to go into the future, I'd mess that up because my 25 and out plan, all of a sudden I'd pop in and I'm like, wait a minute, this is 27 years. I'm 2 years past due.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Well, knowing the enormous construction project we have going on in Licking County with Intel, it was really weird to read yesterday that Intel's laying off about 15,000 workers. Yesterday, the semiconductor manufacturer announced plans to cut its workforce by about 15% after reporting a $1.6 billion loss between April and June. Intel's also suspending stock dividend payouts as a way to further cut costs. It's not yet clear whether the cutbacks will impact Intel's multi-billion-dollar manufacturing facility here in Licking County.
Well,
yeah, it's confusing. I don't know how businesses work in terms of needing to raise their stock price and all that, if that's a move here, but it is a little odd.
Well, they reported this loss, but I'm like, well, how much did you spend building all this stuff? I mean, aren't you going to make it back? Jeez.
Well, this is a really rough story. A 20-year-old man has fallen 400 feet to his death from a scenic overlook at the Grand Canyon. Happened late Wednesday morning. Rangers responded to the location, were able to locate the body of 20-year-old Abel Maya of Hickory, North Carolina. Authorities have not disclosed how Maya managed to fall to his death or why he got close to the edge in the first place. Now, I've not been to the Grand Canyon, I'm ashamed to say, but it's not all gated or anything. It's like easy to sort of be at the edge of these overlooks.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
Sure.
And lean over and
can't
lose
put a
your
fence
balance.
up around that whole thing.
Right. I mean, yeah.
I have drove to the Grand Canyon. There are also people that hike within the actual Grand Canyon. So, yes, there are places to fall. It can be dangerous.
Yeah, I've never been there either, Kelly.
Yeah, that's something we should correct sometime, I guess.
I would if I could teleport.
Wonder.
If I could teleport,
but not
I would.
together.
Yeah,
not together.
Yeah, not right. We can't vacation together.
That is not
happening. No, that's out of the question.
Well, there are a large number of celebrities hanging out in Paris supporting Team USA, but 2 of those celebs have put their money where their mouth is, well, at least for one of them, for a second time in the Olympics. 24-year-old Team USA discus thrower Veronica Fraley, who goes to Vanderbilt, posted on X, quote, "I compete in the Olympic Games tomorrow and I can't even pay my rent. My school only sent me about 75% of my rent while they pay football players who haven't won anything enough to buy new cars and houses." So somebody in her comment section tagged Flava Flav and Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian. Both of them are in Paris watching the games, and both of them stepped up. Flava Flav posted, "I got you, DM me, and I will send payment today so you don't have to worry about it tomorrow. And I'm going to be rooting for you tomorrow. Let's go."
Flavor Flav!
And then Ohanian posted, "Come on now, I'll split it with Flava Flav." They both came through with the money via Cash App, I think, and they have paid her rent for the rest of the year.
Oh my gosh, the rest of the year.
Really, really cool. So earlier in the Olympic Games, Flava Flav stepped up to help Team USA women's water polo financially. So he's given money to them to help that team out. This guy has really become something lately, sort of stepping out and helping people who have asked for help.
He bought everything on the menu at Red Lobster. Every single thing on the menu.
Yeah. And then I think they put out a special Flava Flav menu options or something at Red Lobster. But this is just so heartwarming. I love to see people put their money where their mouth is. And it's cool.
I gotta defend the football players just for a second, because what her funding is not coming from the same place that they're getting their house and cars from, which is the NIL money. But she's in the Olympics, man. She ought to be able to get some NIL money, you would think, right? You would think somebody would step up and sponsor her.
Well,
you would think, but it's not.
And Alexis Ohanian have.
Yeah, and I guess they can. I wonder if they have to work out some sort of. Well, I don't know. It's weird, about accepting gifts as a college athlete and all that. And I hope she didn't get any in trouble for that. I would think they could work it out as an NIL thing.
Here's the thing, though. I hate when other sports complain about the money that football players get. At most major universities or most schools, the football program brings in the money that supports practically everything else. It's just a fact.
Yeah, there's 35 sports at Ohio State, and the football team and the basketball team, those two pretty much fund all of those sports.
I mean, it's no different than, the WNBA wants the same salary as LeBron James. Okay, well, LeBron James sells out 40,000-seat arenas every night. The WNBA does not. So the ends just don't meet. It's just simple math.
Right. But way to go, Flav.
All right, those are your three things.
It's 8:10. With Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick is driving the bus. I'm Lewis, and we have a chance for you to check out the Easy Riders Rodeo. You want to listen for Alice in Chains, Down in a Hole. And when you hear that song, be text number, Kelly, what are we going with?
How about 60?
Text number 60 at 99700. When you hear Alice in Chains, Down in a Hole, that is your cue for a shot to win tickets to the Easy Riders Rodeo. Demi Moore, we might know her as Mrs. Ashton Kutcher or Mrs. Bruce Willis at one time. She's in the news for neither of those things, Rick.
No, she's in the news for wanting to help destigmatize farting. She wants to destigmatize it. She posted an Instagram video. She's reading this book in this video by a digestive health company, and her grown-up daughters and others are gathered all around her. It's like it's a reading group. It's a circle, and she's reading to them from this book, and she begins with the title of the book.
An Adult's Guide to Farts. What's the big stink about? What are some of the common techniques to hide your farts? You can blame the dog. You can pretend nothing happened, or just run away and change your identity. Farts are nothing to be ashamed of. They're very normal. Cats fart, dogs fart, birds fart, even bugs fart.
Wow.
Of course, it's polite to excuse yourself when appropriate, but if a fart slips out, just own it.
And yes, that was Demi with a real one. Kelly looks mortified right now.
I'm not mortified. I just don't understand the purpose of it. Listen, have you guys ever worked? Now, we work in pretty small enclosed space. And if you've ever worked with somebody who's unashamed of being a farter, it is a nightmare of a situation.
I can't say I ever have.
I appreciate when people excuse themselves or go somewhere else and do it, because you know what? You're impacting my air quality here. I would never purposefully do that in front of anybody. I feel like it is it seems so aggressive to me, or like you don't have those kind of permissions in my life.
Yeah, I understand.
Be farting in front of me.
I understand a little accident,
yeah,
a little tiny.
You can't help it.
That'll happen. But you've worked with somebody who just freely, whenever they want.
How about this? It's not that they would do it in front of me, but I'm walking into an enclosed room that is hot with farts, and I don't think that that's right. You should go excuse yourself to the bathroom and leave that air in the bathroom.
Yeah, but that could get uncomfortable in the bathroom too. I've been in the bathroom.
Well, wait a minute. That's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I know, but I've been in the bathroom with a dude that I swear to God that I worked with that let one rip in the bathroom, and then his response was, "Oh, damn, I better check myself after that one." No,
I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear that. No. I mean, I love fart humor, but I don't need to hear that.
Yeah. That's a hard.
Like, I think, the people who think it's funny to fart on you or whatever, like that, that is not my sense of humor.
Like hold you down and sit on you? And...
or maybe like a Dutch oven type sitch. I don't get that. It's not funny to me. It's an assault.
Oh, I did. It is an assault. It is.
It's live on the Morning Blitz. What's going on? It's Dick, Rick, Kelly, Quinn, and Lewis. If I didn't mention it before, you want to text the word rodeo to 99700. Rodeo is what you want to text when you hear Down in a Hole by Alice in Chains. So there's this new thing that's all over TikTok, and I'm honestly shocked that it was Rick who discovered this before Kelly did.
Yeah, right. Kelly, had not seen it at all.
What alternate universe am I living in where something that came from TikTok was not introduced by Kelly Quinn first?
But I always look. I try to look and see what's trending on TikTok just to see if there's anything fun to talk about.
And this is called fridge-scaping, which if you do this, you have far too much time on your hands.
I was just going to say, I don't know who the hell's got this kind of time. I mean, it's to the extreme. I mean, did anybody ever decorate their refrigerator? We're talking about on the inside of the refrigerator.
No, to me, a fridge is utilitarian.
Right.
Solely, it's not an art project.
No, I know. But they were inspired by the TV show Bridgerton. And they called it Fridgerton. And Kelly, do you watch? I can't remember. Do you watch? Did you ever watch Bridgerton?
No.
Never watched any of them? All right. Good acting, good writing. A little weird, but I understand why it's done as successful as it has. So do you watch it, Lewis?
No,
never watched it. All right. Well, I
get the gist of it, but I never watched it.
Yeah, it's a period piece. It's the royals back in the day and all that stuff. I mean, you just tell by the theme music that you're hearing in the background. So they got this woman got inspired by that show to decorate the inside of a refrigerator, and I showed Kelly the video. Did you watch the video, Lewis?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So, I mean, she's doing like she buys milk, but then she's got these real fancy glasses that she pours the milk in and puts them in. She's got some flowers in there as decor, pictures in these little gold classy frames that sit like in the corners of the fridge. But everything has to be prepared in a nice dish, like her vegetables. They're all cut perfect, and they're in a nice dish sitting on a shelf in the fridge. And the whole thing's packed full, and every single thing in there has been, put into this theme and decorated inside. I'm like, who the hell's got that kind of time?
Yeah, I don't know. Plus, those pictures and the picture frames are going to be decorated with some weird mystery juice in about 3 days.
Right.
Right. I just don't. I mean, I'm with you, Kelly. A fridge is like you put stuff in there because it serves a purpose to keep your food cold. I don't need to decorate my food before I get it out of the fridge to throw it in a pan and cook it.
This is like landscaping the inside of your refrigerator, thus fridge-scaping. But actually, it was at least 10 years ago. It started out, but back then it was just about using all the same kind of containers and making sure everything had its own place and being organized. It had nothing to do with actually like decorating.
Yeah, I've seen the organizing. Like you're getting a different type of egg container to pull your eggs out of the carton and put it into a nice fancy little container.
Yeah. So
I've seen stuff like that, but I've never seen people put like fresh flowers in their fridge. Pictures. A little artsy bust of some type.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a good bust.
A little Mozart head in there.
Strange.
Like, what, man? So, yeah, this trend took off in June after this influencer did this and called it Fridgerton.
This seems like something like someone's grandmother would do out of boredom.
Exactly. Somebody who didn't have anything else to do.
Right.
Well,
nothing. my stories don't start till 1, so I guess I'll just decorate the fridge.
Well, there you go. If you hate the Olympics, you got something to do this weekend.
Alice in Chains on your morning blitz. Down in a hole. That is what you were listening for. That was your cue to text rodeo to 99700 for a shot at Easy Rider rodeo tickets. It's Dick, Kelly, and Lewis. And Dick?
Yes, Rich Lester. Rich Lester got those tickets.
Congratulations, Rich.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Enjoy the Easy Riders Rodeo. Wade Jennings will be there.
Kelly's dying laughing right now. Congratulations. That's funny.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Rip on my milk. Rip all over my milk.
Look, my Jeep broke down at 5 a.m. this morning. I've been pounding booze ever since I got home. So,
congratulations.
The fact that it's taken this long for my words to slur is a feat of amazement in itself. I'm kidding. I have not had a single drop of booze this morning.
So I know what K-pop is. I don't listen to K-pop. Who's the big
BTS?
BTS. They're big K-pop. Well, so there's also J-pop, Japanese pop idol, and I saw this story, man, and this has got to be just a terrible way to have to live. And I didn't know. I'm curious to see if anybody else has a career or a job where they have to worry about anything like this. But this girl, Momoka Tojo, she's a member of the Japanese idol group Katakoto Bank. And she has been instructed by her management to post a solo goodnight photo every day for a year. Now, the reason why is the part that I'm like, no way. Last weekend, I guess she has this boyfriend, which nobody's supposed to know about, who celebrated her birthday with her, and a picture of them was taken and posted on her X account. It was her 20th. She's 20. She turned 20 years old. And it was quickly deleted because it caused a commotion. The band's management later disclosed that the guy in the picture is a, quote, regular person that Tojo is dating. That's how they referred to him, a regular person. Okay? And they announced the following measures. Basically, rules for this Momoko Tojo. She must maintain a certain distance from her boyfriend. As punishment, she must post this solo goodnight photo every night for a year, and her fans are encouraged to report any suspicions of her boyfriend appearing in these photos. Huh. So they're like telling her fans, hey, if you see anything weird about this guy, you let us know. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And Tojo subsequently posted a handwritten apology on social media, expressing regret for her, quote, careless action, vowed to be more mindful of her responsibilities as an idol, and she began her punishment with her first goodnight post this past Saturday. She wrote, "Good night, I'll do my best again tomorrow, so please continue to support me." And I'm like, man, so I guess in the Japanese idol industry, public dating is often prohibited to maintain an image of purity for fans. And I'm like, I would never want that. I could not live like that. I mean, that has got to be an exhausting life.
Yeah,
it's going to get worse when that sex tape comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the sort of the built-in premise of a girl group or a guy group is you're all young and we're going to present you as all single. So, all the young women and men out there and boys and girls are going to fall in love with you. And that's going to be 50% of the appeal here, and then you got to lean on your talents for the rest of it.
Right.
So, yeah, but I think this has more to do with the job and description and less to do with the country, because if you'll remember, Kelly, remember when we were talking about the Nick Carter Backstreet Boys documentary thing about the rape allegations a couple weeks back?
Yeah.
The girl who came forward, Melissa Schumann, was in a pop girl group called Dream in the early 2000s, and she flat out said they hated the fact that I had a boyfriend at the time. I had to keep it secret. I wasn't allowed to say I had a boyfriend. I had to appear single and beautiful everywhere I went.
Yeah, I think that's inherent in no matter what country, like you said. I think that's part of the appeal that they try to build in to the group.
Yeah, look available, but don't be available. Is that what it is?
Basically, yeah. But they wanted them to constantly look like appear to be single, even when they're not.
Steve said, so she's basically a stripper who doesn't take her clothes off.
Well, yeah. In some cases, sure.
But
I don't know, man. These boy and girl groups, it seems like it's kind of an abusive machine.
Right.
Doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. Yes, because there's a couple of people getting really rich off of them and making all the rules.
Well, if you look at most of those contracts that they sign, they're terrible contracts that are not artist beneficial. So they're not making as much money as you would think they're making. When it comes down to it, they only make a couple $100,000, which seems like a lot till you pay your attorneys, pay your taxes and everything else. All of a sudden, you're not making, even close to what you think you should be.
No, he's talking about the entities that are putting these groups together. They're the ones making millions off these kids.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And their kids aren't seeing anything by comparison. But
the merch at those NSYNC concerts was insane. I mean, $10 for a glow stick that stayed glowing for 2 days. It's just like just garbage that people were throwing their money at for their kids.
Yeah.
But so I'm curious, we have to kind of be careful what we post on social media. Because we're on the radio. But, I will say we have never, ever once, I don't know, at least I haven't, I don't know about you two, but I have never once been told here at the radio station, like, you can't talk about this or you can't, address that situation or any topic. I've never been told anything. We have complete freedom to talk about what we want, but we also know we have to be a little careful about certain things. I mean, it's just common sense.
I have been sent, when I worked for a different company, I have been sent read between the line emails because something would happen about a certain artist who might be playing a certain big concert. And all of a sudden they were like, oh, let's not disparage that artist. I'm like, okay, I got it. So we can't tell the truth because he's already signed on to play this show and you don't want to blackmark the show. Got it.
Yeah, I've never even gotten anything like that.
I have seen that before and have dealt with that before.
Well, I hate to break it to everyone, but I'm married.
Oh, no, there goes.
Are you serious?
Now we're toast. It's over.
Why didn't I know? Why wasn't I told this a year ago?
Jeez.
All right, the Blitz wanted me to keep that secret, but I'm...
Well, damn it. This is ridiculous.
I'm just curious if anybody out there has a job. Maybe it's not where you can't show that you're in a relationship, but just that you have a strange rule that affects your personal life that you wouldn't have in another job. Is there anybody out there that has something like that?
It's your Morning Blitz, 8:52. Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn. I'm Lewis, talking about double standards. And does your job ever kind of prohibit you from saying something personally, despite what you may or may not believe? That's the question that we asked this morning based on the fact that a Japanese pop star seems to have a little double standard. They didn't want anybody to know she had a boyfriend and whatnot. Heather on our text wall says, I'm a mechanic. My shop owner has to insure us against the possibility that we may damage a customer's car, test drive it, accident, etc. If we do so much as get a speeding ticket, we have to disclose it because their insurance people will know and call them and ask about it. And damn, that makes them twitch.
Jeez. Well, by the way, Doug Rogers says the Blitz was a family-friendly organization until Lewis came along.
I threw the morals right out the window, didn't I?
So this J-pop star, she's 20, and she had a picture with her boyfriend at her birthday, got on her ex account, and she got punished for it, and she has to follow these rules now and post a solo goodnight photo every night for a year, which is just bizarre, but that's just how they do it over there. And Zach said in Japan, they are drawing the fans from the lonely single men. It's the whole idea of an idol being an ideal girl the guys can simp over. If that idol is suddenly dating, they will lose fans who dream of being with the idol. It's toxic, to be sure, but that's why they need to maintain the image of being available.
Someone said, I used to work in the missile field, and they had something called PRP, where they monitored everything we were allowed to eat. We weren't allowed to take any sort of supplement without approval from a PRP-approved physician first.
Okay.
We had to report the ingredients and everything we wanted to put into our bodies.
Wow.
We had to make sure that they had, essentially permission, which is crazy.
All right.
But there are companies, so we asked the question this morning, do you ever work for a company that has some kind of weird rule that affects your personal life?
Doug says, yeah, I'm a truck driver, Rick, and they frown on me smoking weed.
Well, you're going to have to not come over for any of Rick's Mexican haze here in a month or so.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Ben said works in law enforcement. Very strict rules on their personal social media accounts. Can't publicly say anything negative about the city. Can't associate with any felons, etc. Well, that makes sense. I completely understand that. You know,
it's just a business move.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. I mean, everybody's got a PR department for some reason or another. You know,
Drew said when I worked for a call center for a popular internet service provider, we had to raise our hand and get permission from a supervisor if we needed to go to the bathroom. They treated us like we were elementary school kids. Yeah,
I can't imagine.
Well, but I mean, we've seen this with high school. The teachers that get busted for stuff because they're doing OnlyFans on the side. It's the schools coming back going, hey, this is against our code of conduct, even though it's not necessarily happening on school property or using school internet equipment or whatever. It's still, they're frowning upon it.
We just had a high school educator text in. Said,
oh, really?
I was asked for by my building administration to take down a picture I had of my wedding dress because they thought my dress violated the student dress code. That's weird.
Wow.
How does a wedding dress violated? What the hell did you get married in?
Kelly, can I go to the bathroom?
Just kidding. No. Say no, Kelly. Say no.
All right. Here's one. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I had a job 2 years ago where I was hired as a manager, and they had a company get-together to meet my husband and thank him for letting me take the job. I've never seen him more mad on my behalf. I have a different, much healthier job now. Good for you.
I'm not trying not to open this can of worms, but this stuff is very common. Look at everything that's going on with the Gina Carano situation right now. All of this stems from her making personal posts on her social media that didn't coincide with what Disney's mission statement is. So now there's a lawsuit where that's concerned. So you see this kind of thing happening, in various degrees of employment.
Josh says, I work where I can't talk about what I do. I signed a contract for this job, and it's troubling in my personal life because I just can't talk about what I do or where I work for a living. Yeah, that's probably makes, when somebody trying to have a conversation and it comes up and you can't say anything. I can't. What do you? It sounds like the CIA.
I was going to say, what are you, a contract killer?
Right?
Can't talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
Dustin says, I work in the horticulture field and they get so mad when I don't show up.
Well, yeah, that's a problem.
And now, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
An arrest warrant has been issued for the owner of the former Fort Rapids Water Park property on the east side. This after Jeff Kern failed to appear yesterday at a mandatory hearing in the Franklin County Environmental Court. Officials say Kern is an out-of-state landlord who has refused to take any action to bring the property back up to code since he bought it in 2017. He has been racking up fines since August of 2022. Where have we heard this story before?
So I was going to say, is this guy own Eastland Mall too?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same business plan, I think.
Right.
A receivership hearing for the closed water park is scheduled for October. It's said to be a highly competitive auction. Universal Pictures has landed the rights to Britney Spears' best-selling memoir, The Woman in Me. It's described as a biopic, and Britney's absolutely on board. I don't mean if Britney will be in this thing, but she is behind it and is very excited about it, and it did post about it yesterday. Her memoir, has sold over 2.5 million copies in the U.S., and the audiobook, which in fact was not read by her, interestingly enough, it was read by actress Michelle Williams. It is the fastest-selling audiobook in Simon & Schuster's history.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the book, it sort of chronicled her journey to pop superstardom. It covers her Mickey Mouse Club days, her relationship with Justin Timberlake, her conservatorship, and all of that. So it's interesting because there have been so many sort of shows, documentary-style shows put out about Britney Spears, but none that have had her blessing. So, I don't know. Could be interesting. Staying in the Hollywood realm, Bill and Ted, better known as Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, are reuniting. And not for another Bill and Ted movie. They are going to be on Broadway in Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot.
Excellent!
So, I mean, if you read the play, it's a fairly serious play. Basically, it's sort of about life being meaningless and just two men sort of waiting for a third man who never shows up. And just talking about their lives and how nothing matters. And it's quite grim. It's very interesting. It's available for free in PDF style online if you just want to read it. But it's an interesting story. And the two released a joint statement saying they are incredibly excited to be on stage together again and to work with the great director, who is Jamie Lloyd, by the way, in one of what they call their favorite plays. So I don't know if this is a reimagined Waiting for Godot, or if they'll stick strictly to the imagination of Samuel Beckett. Who knows? But it could be very interesting and maybe a big seller there on Broadway.
Bill, that's Alex Winter.
Alex Winter
plays. I always remember every time I see Bill and Ted, I just see his face.
Okay, yeah.
And it's the first time I ever saw him. He was in Lost Boys.
Oh,
with
okay.
Kiefer, he was one of them. And he was in Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, he was in Kiefer Sutherland's crew. That was the first time I ever saw him.
He was the first one they.
Yeah.
I think he was the first one they killed when they broke into the underground hotel and they were all hanging upside down sleeping.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they stabbed him while he slept, and that started everything.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right,
Bill
guys.
S. Preston, Ted Theodore Logan.
Those are your three things.